Hello, everybody. Good afternoon. Welcome to another Windward webinar. My name's Jennifer, and I will be your moderator for today's presentation. Today, we're talking about invoice tax priority. Our presenter today is Eugene. He's been with Windward support for a few years now. As always, if you want to rewatch the presentation, it will be available afterwards at windwardsoftware.com/webinars. And if you have a question that we can't answer during the presentation, or you think about it afterwards, email support@windwardsoftware.com, and one of our techs will give you a hand and answer your questions. During the presentation at the end, we'll have time for some questions though, so just enter them into the question box, add as much detail as possible so we can give you the correct answers. Without further ado though, Eugene, let's get started.
All right, perfect. Thank you so much, Jennifer. So yes, hi everyone. Yes, I will be your today's presenter. So again, my name is Eugene, and today we will be talking about invoice tax priority. So for the invoice tax priority, we have three types of setups. So first is the customer tax area, in which you can set up on the customer's account, and then the ship to area, which is also your customer, but it's just that you have a section in your invoice for ship to. So and the last one is department area. So if you have multiple departments, then yeah, you can make use of the department area. So you can choose different taxes for each of the departments or locations. All right. So for the main setup, so all you need to do is just to go to menu or navigator, go to setup tools, setup wizard, taxes, and then you should see invoice tax priority. So this is a screenshot of how it looks like. So this is in the invoice tax priority and setup wizard. So as you can see, I have multiple departments. So you can do your setup differently in each of the departments if you wish to. But you can also do it the same for all by just setting it up under the all departments. So you can set your three priorities. So on my case, I have the first priority to be the customer tax area. So whenever I do a sale, so the system will first check the customer account to try to see if it's set up with a tax area. So if the system detects that it has a tax area, then it will follow whatever is set for that customer in terms of taxes. But if in case it's blank, so meaning the customer hasn't been set up with any tax areas, then it will check the next priority, which in my case is the ship to tax area. So normally when you do a sale, so your customer is the same as your ship to, but there are also some instances that you have a customer different from your ship to customer. So in this case, the system will also check the ship to customer to see if it's got a tax area setup. But if not, then the system will check the next one, which is the department area. So this is only applicable for departmentalized system. So meaning you have multiple departments in system type. But if not, this won't be available for you. So yeah, so you can also choose, it's not really mandatory for you to choose three priorities. So you can just choose one and then leave the priority two and priority three none. But it depends on how you'd like your system to be set up. So yeah, having the three priorities set up, so it's kind of more complex. So, but I will be demonstrating to you how it works later in my demonstration, so that you can kind of get a better understanding on how things work with regard to this. And then yeah, so how to set up the customer tax area. So it's the same as the ship to. So in a customer record or account, you go to financial tab and you can then see a field or a drop-down menu that says tax area, and then from there you can choose the tax area for the customer. So just a snippet. So this is a sample screenshot that I got from my demo. So for my test customer, under the financial tab, you have a field there for tax area. So in here, my customer one, test one, is set up to be uh, with the tax area AB. All right, so next one is the department tax area. So this can be set up in the setup wizard, and then just go to departments, department names, and this is how it looks like. So again, this is only for customers with departmentalized system. So go to departments, and you can see on there I actually put a red box for the tax area. So that's the column. So you can set up your department areas or tax areas in there. So it doesn't have to be the same as my setup. So you can be creative in your areas. All right. So I will now go to my demo. So on my demo, I've already set it up so that it will be easier or faster. And then in here, I have all departments. So just to kind of show you the different departments. So there's my department 1, department 2, and so on. All right. So again, you can do it for all departments if you want the priorities to be the same across all departments, or you can also set it up differently in each of the departments. So here's the drop-down menu. So you can do none, customer area, customer tax area, ship to tax area, department area. All right, and here for the department area, as you can notice, there's another drop-down menu. So this is already the system will be able to detect this automatically, so you don't have to actually choose in here. And that is because if I go to my departments, department names, I've already set up the different tax areas for the departments. All right. And then also for the taxes, so this is your tax table. So this is where you will have to specify the different rates for your taxes. So for this demonstration, we will just be focusing on tax one, on this case, which is my PST. So in here, you can see that I have a regular PST, which has no tax area. So this is at 7.5%. All right. And then I have AB. So again, this is just the names. I can change the name if I want to. So there's AB and it's set up to be 5%. Then I have BC 6%, HO 1%, and L 2%. So HO 1%, by the way, these rates are not really real. So these are just, yeah, I just made them up. So HO is for the department 1. So let's go back. So there's my tax area, tax area for department 1, HO, and L is for department 2. So going back to the taxes or the tax tables, so my department 1 should have a tax rate of 1% and then department 2 of 2%. And then my AB and BC, I actually have a little note here. So I've set up my customer 1 to have tax area AB, which is at 5%. And then my customer 2 is set up to be BC for 6%. And I also have another customer. So let's just go to the customers account just to kind of show you. Customer. All right, so again, go to Financial tab. You can see tax area. So customer 1, AB. All right. And then for the customer 2, it's BC. So comparing again to my notes. So yeah, I got that one set up. And then for our third customer, Apple Dan. Okay, so in here, there's no tax area. But I can choose if I want to. But right now, for this demonstration, I'll have this as the third customer with no tax area. All right. And by the way, whenever you do changes to your customer accounts, don't forget to click OK to save your changes. All right, so I'm just gonna close these windows, and then we will do our test sale. So again, remember that my tax area is set up to be the same across all departments. So it will follow customer tax area first, and then ship to a department area. So now let's do a test. So pretending I have a new sale. So let's do customer 1. All right. So again, going back to the little note I have here, this should have a 5% because of its area being tax area AB. All right. So I'm going to click OK. All right. I'm just going to put a test item in here. So my item is set up to be 100. And as you can see down below, the PST, oh, I can't even click on it. But yeah, you can see their PST is at 5%. And again, it matches our rate, 5%. So what if I'll change my customer to customer two? Oops. All right, so yes, we want to change to customer two. And then we can see there's a prompt that says customer information has changed. So we want to retax. All right, going back to the items, it's still the same item, but as you can see, the PST is now 6. So that's 6% of 100, and that's because of the customer tax area BC, which is set at 6%. So now what if we change the customer to Apple Dan, which is our third sample customer? So again, this customer doesn't have any tax area set up. So technically the system will, okay, let's see what happens. So I'm just going to say yes because we want to change it. Okay, so there's the prompt again. And yes, we need to say yes. As you can see, it's got 5%. 5% is actually our, hang on here, something's wrong. Let me see. Because supposedly, given that this customer doesn't have any tax area set up, so it should not pull up the 5% or the 6%. And then based on our tax area priority, so since this is blank, it will proceed to the next one, which is ship to tax area. So let's check our ship to. Okay, there. So that's the reason why. Because the ship to is still with customer one, which is again, customer one is at 5%. So that's why we get the 5 uh, for the PSD. All right, because it's following the ship to. But what if we remove the ship to? So there we can see that the system detected that there's no ship to, there's no tax error for the customer. So we want to change it to HO. HO is our department one. So we want to say yes. So again, HO is department one, head office. We have head office in there. And then in here, we can see that it's following the 1%. Again, 1% for the head office. All right. And then, yeah, so that's basically it. So it will follow the sequence. But if there's, okay, let me do, so basically I have multiple departments here. So I have my third department, which is SL. SL, I haven't set up any rates for that here in the system. So let's see what happens if we do a transaction for Apple Dan, which is a customer with no tax area, and then see how the system will compute the tax. All right, so I'm just gonna change this to South location. Again, that's the SL. Gonna do a new sale. Let's do the same customer. All right, so we're getting a warning here. Invalid tax area SL, please check the invoice tax area. So yep, that's what we get because again, we haven't set up the our third department yet for any tax areas. So let me see what happens here. Okay, it looks like we don't have any in stock for our sample part number in department 3. So I'm just gonna oversell. So you can see it's now following 7.5 as the PST, and that is because if we go to our tax tables, my regular PST is at 7.5%. So it's following that one. Unless I create another line here for SL with a different rate, then given that this is done in Department 3, then it will follow whatever that rate is. But for now, since it did not detect anything, so it goes back to the default one, which is the no tax area at 7.5%. So yeah, so it's yeah, if you require a setup like this, so you like this as my demo, so you can just maybe test it out in your training first so that you can kind of play around with it. And then again, if you want you know, if you don't want each of these priorities to be filled in, so you can do so, just click none for yeah, the succeeding ones, and then yeah, whatever priority is in there, that will be your yeah, that's what the system will be um, computing for the tax area. All right, so yeah, I hope that is somehow clear. I know it's kind of maybe a lot because of the different tax areas and the setups. But yeah, just please feel free to go to your training, have this one set up, and then try to test it out, and then yeah, see how it behaves and see how it can, how you can implement it into your system. But if you need further assistance on this one, you can also send us a support ticket so that we can help you out. Or if it's more complex, then you can also approach your account manager, and then maybe we can have one of our professional services help you with the whole thing, the setup. So yeah, I think that should be it. All right, Jennifer. I think that's it. So we're done, and we can now take questions and yeah, questions.
Okay, awesome. Thanks, Eugene. So the first question, excuse me, Christine just wanted to know if you could show us the customer's tax setup for Dan Apple.
Oh, sure. All right, so financial. So yep, this is the setup for Apple Dan. So I got no tax area setup for him. So it's just a regular blank PSD. And then yep, there are the taxes to be paid. So yeah, that's for the customer.
Okay, great. While we're waiting for some more questions, we've got our next topic that we'll be discussing February 23rd. We'll be going over how to perform a backup for our on-prem non-cloud user customers. So that will be a really great topic. Hannah, I see your question there. You can access a video replay of this webinar on our website, www.windwardsoftware.com/webinars. There's just a little link to view the archive, and it should be there. It doesn't take that long, maybe the end of the day, just to be safe. But I don't see any other questions coming in. So if you
Mhm.
have something that you'd like to ask, you can type in the question box now.
So while waiting for questions, so we have resources available for everyone's consumption. So we have this help center. Just head over to wimmersoftware.com/help. And then you can type in any topics you want, and then yeah, you should be able to see our articles that will help you out. And then we have customer care portal. So if you don't have an account yet, so you can set it up and have yourself registered so that you can send in your support tickets. If calling support is a challenge, so yes, you can submit tickets anytime. So just go to support@winmersoftware.com, and then yep, once you have the setup, once you have your ticket in there, so you can also check your progress because we at the support team will post notes whenever yeah, there's yeah, whenever we have new notes for your ticket. And then we have Windward Learn Academy. So just head over to academy.windwardoncloud.com, and we have lots of helpful training videos there. All right. So yeah, do we have questions coming in, Jennifer?
No, we don't have any new ones.
No.
So I think we
All right.
will end it there. I see we've got the lighting showroom efficiencies coming up in February as well. So if you're interested in that, you can talk to your account manager. It's going to be very informative, lots of information for you guys. So on that note, we'll say goodbye. Thank you, Eugene, for your
All right.
presentation,
Thank you, Jennifer.
and we will see you guys again on February 23rd. Have a great weekend.
Bye, everyone. Keep safe. Take care. Bye now.